Hi, welcome to class. I'm Miss Wood. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're going to get started today on our lesson about theme. Um, if you want to follow along, we are going to take notes here and I'm going to push you all to the digital Google assignment. It will look like this. So you can take notes as is helpful for you. Okay. You can send these to me at the end of the lesson so that I can go over them and see how well you understand the content so that we can get feedback immediately so you can learn. But let's go ahead and dive right into it. So today we are going to have a lesson on theme. It's the standard RL72 from the state that they want you to learn this, and so do I, because it's something that's going to help you throughout this whole year with reading and writing, and as you grow in reading and writing as well. Um, we're going to use folk stories today to analyze that. So first, we're going to go over a couple definitions. One, this is a review, but does anyone remember what to infer means or what an inference means? Nice. Okay, so put it in the chat. Great. So yeah, we're going to use reasoning and evidence from the text to draw a conclusion. So basically, you guys do this all the time. We got our example on the left where someone's texting, I've never felt this mad in my entire life. So we know that they feel mad because they said so. And sometimes our authors say things like that to us. They say, this character is happy, this character is athletic, this theme is about, friendship or something like that. But sometimes it's more like this other text. Baby, what? I miss you. Okay. Are you mad at me? No. Seems like it. Oh. And what can we still infer? They still feel kind of mad, right? They still seem kind of mad. Even though they're not saying it exactly, we can pick up by the evidence, by the tone, that they're mad. And the reason that inference is relevant again today, even though we've learned about it in other lessons, is that most of the time, theme is not going to be explicitly stated. Like they're not going to say, I've never felt this mad, right? They're not going to say, the theme of the ugly ducklings is to be true to yourself. They're going to show you the story, and you're going to have to pick up on the theme the way that you would in the second text example. Okay, another definition that's important today is topics. So, topics are the subject of a text, usually expressed as a single word or phrase. Now, this is important because there's different things that are not quite themes. They help us get to the theme, but they're topics. They're things like love, family, hate, death, innocence. We read stories, we watch movies, we read books, and these are topics about them. And they help us get towards the theme. But our key today is to learn what a theme is, not just what a topic is. So, our final definition and what we're going to spend the rest of this lesson talking about is what a theme is, okay? So, a theme is the message or main idea of a story said in a sentence, all right? So, that's different where it's different from a topic. So, this one is said in a whole sentence, all right? So, here are examples of themes. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. We rise by lifting others. Seeking wealth can lead to emptiness. They're full sentences. They're whole messages about the theme. So, different things that theme is to review, it's a message about life. It is something the character learns. Sometimes I get stuck and I'm like, I don't know what the theme is. And a good clue is to think like, what did the character learn? What did our main character learn from this story? What did Harry Potter learn? What did Percy Jackson learn? What did Bella Swan learn from this story? And that can help me get there. And then it's a universal lesson. Universal is kind of a big word, but it just means that a lot of people in the universe can learn from this story too. It's not too specific that it's just about one person, right? It's not like going to Hogwarts will help you learn, right? That's a little too specific to Harry Potter. I'm not going to Hogwarts. But if it was something like um being brave can help us help others, that's something that I could learn from too. And it's something Harry Potter learned. So that could be a good theme. Theme is not going to be one word. It's not just going to be bravery. It's not a summary of events, right? It's not like Harry Potter defeated Voldemort. That's too specific. It's not universal. And it would kind of go more here into my summary section, which a clue is it's not going to include the names of the characters. If you're including the name of Bella Swan, it's going to be not quite universal, right? It's not universal to me that Bella Swan falls in love, right? What's universal to me is that love can conquer anything, right? I could learn from that too, even though I'm not Bella Swan. Does that make sense so far? Can you give me a thumbs up if we're following so far what a theme is? We kind of think we get it. All right, any questions? All right, then we're going to go ahead and practice a little bit. This is on your notes if you guys want to follow along. I'm going to give you guys a second to either jot down on a piece of paper so you guys can do this independently. Just one, two, three, four, five, yes or no. Is it a good theme? Yes or no? All right, and this is also on your digital notes if you guys want to look there as well. All right, going to give you a second. Pretend like that's passed. Okay, so is this a good thing? Hope. What do we think? No. Can anyone tell me why it's not a good theme? One word, exactly. So one word, not a theme. We need a sentence because that would be does anyone remember what that word would be? It would be a topic. Good job. All right. Friends can help us do hard things. What do we think? What do we think? Nice. That one is a theme. We've got a full sentence. No characters' names are included. It's not a summary. I could learn from it. Friends can help us do hard things. I could learn from friends helping us do hard things. It is better to be honest than dishonest. That's a theme. Great job. That one's a theme. It's a full sentence. Anyone can learn from it. Not too specific that it has the characters' names in it. Harry Potter uses the power of love to defeat evil. Eh, nope. Too specific. It has Harry Potter's name in it. That's gonna go in my summary or something, or go as evidence for my theme. Too specific about Harry Potter. Everyone needs to learn from this. No characters' names, please. Wisdom is learned through experience. That one's good too. Full sentence, no characters' names, very specific to the story. Okay, let's do some practices together from stories that I think you guys are going to be familiar with. The first one's The Lion King, classic. This was my husband's favorite when he was a kid. Watched it over and over and over as a baby. Well, 4-year-old. All right, so I'm going to think of a topic. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to do this one, then we're going to do some together. So I'm thinking through the story of Lion King. I'm thinking about how Simba starts off kind of selfish. Then he knows he's going to be king. But at first he's like, oh, I just can't wait to be king. I'm going to be so this and that. And it's going to be awesome. And then his dad dies and he thinks it's his fault. So he runs away, right? And then when he finally comes back after Nala encourages him after he talks to his dad in the sky, he kind of realizes that he has to take responsibility for this like mantle of being a king. That's a bigger deal than he thought. And it's not just about fun. It's about others and not just himself. So I'm thinking, okay, are there any like ideas that Simba learns about? And there might be a lot, right? Another thing about themes is that there's more than one per story. So you might think of a different thing than I do. So I'm thinking of like maybe there's themes about or topics about family, about dad, about a king, about responsibility. And I like that one best. I like responsibility. So I'm going to put responsibility for mine. And now I have to turn it into a theme because topics are not themes. They help me get to a theme. Topics like lead us there. But we have to think like, what did the character learn about responsibility? Because if I just say the theme is responsibility, it's like, is responsibility good or bad? Now, hopefully your reader knows responsibility is good, but we got to help them out because we're the author, right? We're the ones trying to discern and understand what the theme is. The theme is going to be a whole lesson, not just a word. So, I mean, even responsibility is good is technically a sentence, but I could do a little better than that. So I'm thinking, what does Simba learn about responsibility? Okay, well, he has to leave like the Hakuna Matata lifestyle at one point and go back to help his family and to help his pride, to help his pride and to kind of like step up and that he has to like let go of like these feelings that he had about the past to kind of take responsibility and there's some sacrifice there. Okay, so I wrote, it is important to take responsibility by facing the past instead of running from it, right? Like instead of staying in his Hakuna Matata lifestyle, he does have to go confront Scar. All right, let's do this next one together. Encanto. Okay, does anyone have any ideas? I'm going to give you guys a minute to think about possible topics for this one. Any thoughts? Okay, great. I love what's been shared. A lot of different ideas. Let's go with what Susie said. Family. We've got a lot of family in Encanto, right? The whole opening song is about family. Her sisters sing some songs about family. She's got her grandma. They all live together. The Familia Madrigal, they're so important. And now what does Mirabelle, what does she learn about family? How can we turn that into a theme? I'm going to give you guys a minute to think about it. Good. Yeah. At the end of the story, like she's kind of struggling with her grandma. Her grandma's a little hard on her, but at the end, she heals her relationship with her grandma, right? They kind of all strengthen it together through love, through communication. Bruno's brought into the family through love and communication. So that's kind of one of the topics and the themes that we get from that story. Okay. Gonna give you guys a minute to think about this last one on your own. And I'm gonna have you guys in the chat, just to me, it doesn't have to be to everyone. I'm gonna have you guys share what you think. Okay, so I'll give you guys a minute to do that. Time passes. Okay, excellent. And here's what I did. So I had mine be about, I kind of went with the theme song, which you guys might be sick of hearing your little siblings play again and again. But I went with the Let It Go song where she says, conceal, don't feel. So I went with that line as like I kept thinking of that. I'm like, okay, there's some topics about feelings, about, Elsa trying not to have her feelings, even about Anna, having her feelings a little early and stuff. But I really went with Elsa and like what we learned from Elsa and her feelings, specifically when she was like, conceal, don't feel. And at the end, she learns that that's not quite right. Concealing your feelings isn't always helpful. When she finally confided in Anna what her feelings were, it helped them a lot better to like be unified and be a team and stuff like that. So, concealing your feelings isn't always helpful. It is a full sentence. It does not have the characters' names on it. It is something I could learn from too, not just Elsa. So, that is a great theme. Okay, here's what we're going to do now. We are going to vote as a class which story we are going to watch. We're going to watch one of these stories, and then we're going to practice going through it together. All right, you can watch Three Little Pigs, and then I'm not going to actually watch it right now. And then we're going to think of potential topics and then turn it into a theme. Okay, so there's mine. For the sake, though, of this lesson, I'm not going to continue this part, but the students can. And then at the end, um, they are going to submit or email this to me, and they're going to, whichever story they choose, potential themes, and then highlight how well they feel they understand theme 1 to 4 so that I can give them feedback and reach out to any students that still have lingering questions that day. This is a very intro lesson to theme. I use it on the first day of theme because it's very simple. And then the next day we kind of go into reading passages and getting theme. Students by 7th grade, which is what I've historically taught, have know about theme, but typically struggle with it being a sentence. So that's kind of what I focus on. But that is my lesson. Students, please submit or email this paper to me so that I can see how we're doing. If you have any questions, you can just put them here, like, or maybe honestly, sometimes when I don't understand something, I have to say, I just don't get it at all. And that is totally fine. Sometimes I can't even think of a question because I just am lost. And if that is where you're feeling, just let me know so that I can reach out to you and we can figure this out together. Because you guys are going to have a project about thing coming up. So I do want you to know that you feel confident that you can handle it by yourself. Thank you so much for tuning into this lesson, you guys, and I hope that you guys keep noticing themes in the stories and books that you are reading and watching on your own time.